Hey guys, so this video is for lesson 19, solving addition and subtraction equations for our week 34 of distance learning. Let's go ahead and read our problem together and look at these examples that they give us through the picture and the solve it models. Alright, it says, read the problem below, then explore how to solve a subtraction equation. So this is our problem right here in the yellow. Suppose you have a bag with an unknown number. Whenever you see these terms right here, unknown number, that automatically should be putting in your head that we need to use a variable here. So you have a bag with an unknown number of blocks, and you take 3 blocks out of the bag. So if I'm taking a value out of another value, that should tell you that you are subtracting. So we're taking 3 away from the bag. So I'm going to put a -3 up here just to keep that in mind. We know that this is a variable. I'm just going to use x. X is like the most popular variable, it seems like. Then you put the bag on one side of a balance. It takes 7 blocks on the other side to make the balance beam horizontal. We've talked about what this term means before. Horizontal, when we're talking about a balancing beam, means equal. So both sides weigh the same amount. How many blocks were in the bag before you took out 3? So when the bag had all of its pieces in it. So we know that this side is 7, because there are 7 blocks here, and they even show it. The label on the bag means the bag has 3 less than some number of blocks in it, which makes sense because if we look up here at our notes, we have x minus 3, and the bag is also x minus 3. Solve it. Write an expression for the number of blocks on each pan. So they wrote the same expression we wrote, and the number on the right side. Since the balance beam is horizontal, you know that there is the same number of blocks on each side. Yes, we do know that. Write an equation to show the Write an equation to show the expressions are equivalent. So they show that the number of the blocks on the left equals the number of blocks on the right. Should make sense so far. Now let's go ahead and look at our practice page that we have in our instructional book for this and see how this all makes sense together. Alright, so looking at this side of our page, it says look at the solve it on the previous page, which is what we just did. If you solve the equation x minus 3 equals 7, what information will you have? Well, to solve it would mean that we would find out how many blocks were in the original bag, or what the value of x is. You could write that here. I'm not going to write it using this tool, obviously, because I've said before, I'm not that great at using this little hand tool thing, but basically you're finding out the value of x, or in this case, how many blocks were actually in the bag before we took away 3. What is the operation in the expression x minus 3? So what operation is this? What is this telling you to do? It's telling you to subtract. So I'm just going to put s here for subtract, so we know that. Try it, just put sub minus, right? What is the inverse of this operation? Remember, inverse means opposite. So what's the opposite of subtraction? That's right, we add. Addition is the opposite. How can you isolate the variable in x minus 3 equals 7? We do the inverse. So because this is subtracting 3 on this side, we are going to add 3. Not only there, but on our other side as well. So if I owe someone $3 and I give them $3, they no longer are owed any money. And whatever I do to this side, I need to do to my other side. Okay. So solve x minus 3 equals 7. So isolate the variable. This means that we do the inverse operation. So we're adding 3 here. We're adding 3 here as well because we also have to balance the equation, which means that we have to do the same thing to both sides. So now we have x is by itself. It's literally going to be x minus 0, but we don't really need to write that. And this is 7 plus 3, which is 10. And if you really want to keep track, you could just put that there. So x equals 10. How many blocks were in the bag before you took 3 out? 10 blocks. Alright, I'm going to suggest that you guys write down these two problems and try and solve them by yourselves before you watch how to do it, just to see if you're getting the hang of it. I'll give you a clue to start you off for number 9 though. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So you're going to be subtracting 5 from both sides. So you're going to end up with x plus 5 minus 5. If I had $5 and I bought something for $5, I have $0 left. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So it's 15 minus 5, 10. What's 5 minus 5? 0. So x plus 0 equals 10. So x equals 10. And then x minus 9 equals 8. What's the opposite of subtraction? You should always be thinking, okay, what is operation? And then what is opposite? Because that's what you're going to have to do, is the opposite of whatever they showed to find the value of the variable. So the opposite of subtraction is addition. If I owe someone $9 and I give them $9, there's $0 left. This cancels each other out. So then I have, this is 0. So x could equal 8 plus 9. And that is a terrible 9, but here we are. So 8 plus 9, you guys should know this. This should be simple mental math. X equals 17 for this problem. Hopefully you tried that out on your own before you saw me do it, but it's okay if you didn't. Just know that you're going to be practicing this concept on your own with your practice page assignment that you have. Alright, hope this video helped. If not, feel free to email me. When you do email me about an assignment, you need to make sure though that you're being specific. Don't just say, I don't get such and such assignment. Okay, what about it do you need help with? Because I can't help you if I don't know what it is that you're struggling with. Okay? Alright. Bye, y'all.